Black mother Isabella was selling her engagement ring for her baby, who was crying from hunger. When Angelina Jolie saw this helplessness, a miraculous change would begin. The baby was hungry. She had $20 in her wallet, and the engagement ring was her last hope. The 23-year-old mother knew that the only way to stop her 6-month-old daughter from crying was to sell her last valuable possession. It no longer had any sentimental value for her. Her ex-husband, Tyler Brooks, had given her the ring 3 years ago when he proposed. "I'll be with you forever, Isabella," he had said at the time. But those words had proven to be empty. Isabella was only 20 when she met Tyler. She was studying psychology at UCLA on a full scholarship. She had dreamed of becoming a child therapist, but everything changed after she met Tyler. Tyler worked as a gym trainer and was the type of man who turned heads with his good looks. A whirlwind romance began between them, but appearances weren't everything. She hadn't yet seen the darkness within him. "You're the love of my life," Tyler would tell her. "I want to start a family with you and live under the same roof." Isabella believed his sweet words and, swept away by the magic of love, made a mistake. She left the school where she had won a full scholarship and married him. When she became pregnant, Tyler seemed happy, at least for now. "It's going to be a girl," he said after the ultrasound. "Let's name her Luna." Luna's birth was difficult. When Isabella saw her for the first time, her world was complete. "Tyler, look how cute our daughter is." But 2 months after Luna was born, Tyler began to change. He came home late and hid his phone calls. One night, Isabella saw photos of another woman on his phone, Samantha Pierce. This woman was someone who had attended the same university as Isabella and had been close to her as a friend. The woman in the photo looked very familiar to Isabella, but she couldn't figure out who she was, because Tyler quickly snatched the phone from Isabella's hand. Samantha Pierce was now Tyler's new client. She owned a chain of fitness studios. "Tyler, who is this woman?" Isabella asked, her heart racing. Tyler answered coldly, without any shame. "Isabella, we need to talk. There's someone else in my life. Her name is Samantha Pierce." Isabella's world had come crashing down, and she asked in a shocked tone, "Samantha Pierce?" "Tyler, she was one of my closest friends in college. How could you two do this to me? And you, have you ever been betrayed like this?" Tyler had just learned that Samantha was Isabella's friend. However, he thought it was a coincidence and didn't pay any attention to it. Then Tyler replied, "I didn't know about this, but that doesn't change the fact that I like her. But we're married. We have Luna. You told me you loved me. Was it all a lie? I want something else now, Isabella. The person in my life offers me a better life. She has money, status. You and Luna, that's not the life I want. Taking care of a child, crying sounds at night. I understand now. This isn't for me." Isabella felt like she was experiencing the worst day of her life. She was facing the betrayal of her former best friend and current husband. "Tyler, please. We're a family. Luna is your daughter." "No, Isabella. I don't want to be a part of this life. Let's not drag this out. This conversation is over, and you need to get out of here as soon as possible." And just like that, Tyler left Isabella and their 2-month-old baby. Samantha's money and status were more appealing to Tyler. But Samantha Pierce had very dark plans. Tyler had disregarded the love Isabella gave him, their family life, and his own daughter for that woman. During the divorce proceedings, Tyler hadn't paid any alimony. Samantha's lawyers were also helping Tyler. With the wealthy woman's support, they were manipulating the system in their favor against Isabella. "I'm not that child's father anymore," Tyler had told his lawyer. "Let Isabella fend for herself." He was officially disowning his own daughter. Isabella had tried her best to fight, but she had lost the battle because she couldn't afford a lawyer. Moreover, Tyler had issued verbal warnings. "If you keep bothering me, I'll take Luna away from you too." Hearing those words, Isabella was paralyzed. She couldn't bear the thought of losing the most precious thing in her life, her daughter. So she had no choice but to close this chapter of her life. But life would deal this man such a cruel blow that you won't believe your ears when you hear it. Hey, before we continue with our story and its surprising ending, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let us know in the comments what city you're watching from. Your valuable support is important to us. 6 months later, Isabella was struggling to survive on her own. She spent most of her nights watching over Luna. "What kind of world did I leave you in?" she wondered. Her dream of becoming a child therapist now seemed like a distant fantasy. The money she earned from her part-time job at a cafe was barely enough to cover her rent and basic necessities. Every day, she would wake up at 6 in the morning, leave Luna with her neighbor Rosa, and go to work. Luna's milk powder had run out 3 days ago, and she didn't have the money to buy more from the pharmacy. Her boss had forbidden her from asking for advances because she had been doing so constantly. Her baby was hungry and crying constantly. She hadn't eaten anything proper for 2 days either. Her neighbor Rosa Delgado was trying to help her, but she was also in a very difficult situation. "Isabella, I have 3 children of my own. I wish I could help you more," Rosa would say sadly. "But I barely managed to pay this month's rent." It was clear she was ashamed to say these things. Isabella was a proud girl, but she had no other choice. She looked at the ring on her finger. It was her only possession, a painful reminder of her past, and she had to sell it for her baby. It no longer had any meaning to her. "All right," she said to herself, holding back her tears. "I'll sell the ring. I'll buy milk for Luna." She took out her phone and called the nearest jeweler. "Hello, I want to sell a ring. Can you appraise it when I get there?" "Of course, ma'am. Hayes Jewelry can help you. If you come to our store, we'll be happy to appraise it for free." Isabella got Luna ready. She put the little girl in the car and set off for the jewelry store in Beverly Hills. This journey was her last hope, and she was going to use her last card. The few $1,000s from the ring could help them get by for a while. However, there was something she couldn't have predicted. At the store she was heading to, the wheels of fate would begin to turn, because she would be there at the same time as a world-famous actress, and this coincidence would change Isabella's life forever. Under the crystal display cases at Hayes Jewelry, jewels worth a fortune sparkled. Angelina Jolie, wearing sunglasses and a simple suit, was trying to remain anonymous as she browsed the store. She was attending an event that weekend and was looking at jewelry to wear there. "This necklace is very elegant," said store employee Diana Walsh. Angelina nodded politely. Isabella Moreno held her breath at the sight of Hayes Jewelry's magnificent appearance. This was one of the most prestigious jewelry stores in Beverly Hills. Every piece in the display cases was far beyond her monthly budget. She had even thought she might have come to the wrong place. Even if she had come to sell something she owned, she felt this place was out of her league. But she had come this far, and there was no other option but to go inside. Taking a deep breath, she entered carefully, making sure not to wake Luna. "Hello," she said to the security guard at the door. "Can I have a ring appraised?" The security guard looked at Isabella's tired face and the sleeping baby in her arms. This woman's story was written all over her face. Sleepless nights, worry, helplessness. "Wait inside. Mr. Hayes will see you," the man said in a soft tone. When Isabella entered the store, its grandeur overwhelmed her. It was like another world, and every display case was worth a fortune. She thought about how modest her own small ring would look here. Meanwhile, Luna was starting to wake up and was getting restless. Angelina Jolie, examining the necklace set in the corner, noticed Isabella, the worry on the young woman's face, her baby's restlessness. As a mother, This scene was all too familiar. "May I help you, ma'am?" said Richard Hayes, the store owner. In his 50s, he had the air of an experienced merchant. "How can I assist you?" he asked professionally. Isabella stepped forward timidly. "I'd like you to appraise this ring. I'm thinking of selling it." With trembling hands, she took off the ring and handed it to Hayes. It was a simple yet high-quality ring. Hayes began examining it under a magnifying glass, checking the quality of the stone. Angelina Jolie momentarily forgot about the jewelry and listened intently. The young mother's story had begun to intrigue her. "It's a beautiful diamond," Hayes said. "But the market is tough right now. Prices drop in urgent sales. I can offer you $3,000. He looked at Isabella with a calculating expression. Isabella's face lit up with hope. "Really? $3,000 would be like a lifeline for her and her daughter right now." But she didn't yet know she was being deceived by the jeweler. "Why are you selling this ring?" Hayes asked curiously. "It looks like an engagement ring." Isabella's voice trembled. Because I need to buy milk for my baby." At that moment, an eerie silence fell over the store. These words pierced Angelina Jolie's heart like an arrow. A mother was selling her most precious possession to buy milk for her child. The struggles she had faced for her own children, the challenges of motherhood. She saw pieces of herself in Isabella. She placed the necklace on the counter and stepped closer. "Excuse me," Angelina said gently. "That's a beautiful ring. It must be very special to you." Isabella turned to her. "Yes, it used to be very special." Angelina Jolie looked at Luna. The little baby looked pale, probably from hunger, and her mother was very tired. This scene triggered Angelina's protective instincts. "Where's the baby's father?" Angelina Jolie asked. Isabella's eyes filled with tears. "He left us. He married someone else, someone with money," she said, ashamed. This explanation stirred Angelina Jolie's sense of injustice. A young mother was struggling alone, ready to sell even her last valuable possession. "Mr. Hayes," Angelina said sternly, turning to Hayes, "what is the real value of this ring?" She was beginning to assert her authority. Hayes was uncomfortable. "Well, I said $3,000. "No," Angelina said in a harsher tone. "I'm asking for its true market value." Hayes had 30 years of experience in the market. Realizing Angelina Jolie was serious, he hesitated. "The diamond is truly high quality. Under normal circumstances, it's worth $5,000 to $5,500. Isabella was shocked. "What?" Angelina Jolie. "So you were trying to trick this young mother." Hayes went on the defensive. "That's how this business works. When everyone sells in a hurry, the value goes down. I'm not doing anything wrong." He immediately went on the defensive. When Angelina Jolie took off her sunglasses and looked at Hayes with a determined gaze, a shockwave came from there as well. Hayes was speechless. "Ma'am, Miss Jolie, we didn't recognize you. I'm sorry. That's not what matters. You were trying to take advantage of a young mother's desperation," said Angelina. Isabella looked at her in amazement. You're really Angelina Jolie." Angelina Jolie nodded. "Yes. And I have endless respect for brave mothers like you." Isabella was speechless. "Angelina Jolie, what are you doing here?" "It doesn't matter, Isabella, but I'm glad I'm here. I've had the pleasure of meeting such a wonderful mother like you." Hayes tried to clarify the situation. "Ms. Jolie, perhaps there was a misunderstanding." "There's no misunderstanding," Angelina said coldly. Angelina Jolie had a secret plan for this cunning man. Hayes Jewelry had shared on his Instagram story that this place was trying to scam people, looking high quality from the outside, but quite low class and low quality on the inside. This move would deal a blow to the store's economy in the coming days. But Hayes wasn't even aware of that at the time. Angelina then turned to Isabella. "Keep this ring with you," she said. "When Luna grows up, It will be a beautiful story to tell her about her mother's courage. But the milk powder, don't worry about that. Come with me and we'll get everything Luna needs right away. Tears of joy began to well up in Isabella's eyes. Is this real? Very real, said Angelina, gently stroking Luna's cheek. And this was only the beginning. Hayes watched them leave. He had made a huge mistake by crossing paths with someone as powerful as Angelina Jolie, and he would pay the price in the days to come, with his sales dropping by half. Isabella smiled with hope for the first time in months. Luna had calmed down in her mother's arms. They didn't know yet that Tyler's life was about to change too, but his change would not be as happy as Isabella's. 6 months later, Isabella's life had completely changed. With Angelina Jolie's support, she was living a happy life with Luna in a beautiful house in Santa Monica. Angelina had not only provided financial assistance, but also ensured that she returned to UCLA to complete her psychology education, recognizing the potential within her. You wanted to be a child therapist, Angelina had said that day. This dream must come true. Luna will be proud of her mother one day. These words from Angelina Jolie were very motivating for her. Isabella was now taking online classes and continuing her education while looking after Luna. She was also working part-time at Angelina's foundation, supporting mothers in difficult situations, just like herself. Every morning I look in the mirror and can't believe what I've been through, Isabella said on the phone to her neighbor Rosa. 6 months ago, I was going to sell my engagement ring, and now I'm helping other people who are in the same situation as me. Life had given them a second chance. Luna was also changing for the better. She was now a healthier, happier baby. She was well-nourished and went for regular doctor's appointments. Isabella now felt valuable. The pain of her past was still there, but she looked to the future with hope. The engagement ring was still on her finger, but it no longer reminded her of Tyler. It represented Luna's future and gave her strength. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, something was happening in Tyler Brooks's life that we would all enjoy. His marriage to Samantha Pierce was not going as he had hoped. Samantha was a rich but cold woman. All she wanted from Tyler was for him to look good and be her accessory at social events. They had no real love or family life. Tyler, there's a meeting with famous businessmen tonight, Samantha said in a cold voice. Just stand there quietly and don't talk too much. You're just there to look good. She said it with a condescending tone. Tyler felt uneasy inside. When he was with Isabella, he could be himself. Now he felt like an object, but he hadn't experienced the worst yet, because Samantha's eyes were on other men. Tyler noticed that Samantha was flirting with Marcus Reed, a young and successful businessman. Marcus was both richer and younger than Samantha. Samantha, you're very close to Marcus, Tyler had said one day. That's none of your business, Samantha had replied indifferently. You can't question my decisions. Tyler's fear of being abandoned was growing, just like what he had done to Isabella. He was now thinking about what a big mistake he had made by leaving Isabella. But it was too late. He had already burned his bridges, and Tyler hadn't even experienced the worst yet. For weeks, he endured Samantha's cold behavior. He tried to buy her gifts, showed her more attention, but nothing could bring back Samantha's interest or affection. Even if he tried his hardest, it wouldn't make a difference, because this woman's eyes were now set on the wealthy businessman, Marcus Reed. One evening when he came home, Samantha had packed her bags. What's going on? Tyler asked anxiously. What's all this packing for? I'm going to Las Vegas with Marcus. We're getting married soon, Samantha said calmly. Tyler tried to hide the growing panic inside him. Samantha, please think about this. We're so good together. But the desperation in his voice was clear. And the woman had slapped Tyler in the face with the dirty plan she had been hatching from the very beginning. She began to utter the words that would shock him to his core. After laughing cruelly, Samantha said, Are we good together, Tyler? You were just a tool I used to get revenge on Isabella. Marcus is both richer and younger. I'm done with you now." These words shattered Tyler. What did she mean, revenge on Isabella? What revenge was this? Isabella was my old friend. At university, she was always more successful, and all the guys I liked her. I always stayed in her shadow. Taking the man she married years later was my way of settling the score with her," she said. Tyler's knees trembled, and his breath caught in his throat. So he was just a tool for revenge. His love for her, those beautiful words, their marriage, it was all part of this game. There was no mercy in Samantha's cold eyes. "Samantha, please, I left Isabella for you," he begged, his voice cracking. "And this is your end," Samantha said. Tyler collapsed to the ground. His hands were trembling. His heart felt shattered. He now understood the pain of betrayal and abandonment. He had sacrificed Isabella's true love for Samantha's false promises. Now he had lost both of them. Tyler had finally realized everything. He had realized Isabella's value too late. Her beautiful heart, her loyalty, her true love. He had sacrificed it all for Samantha's money. At night, he looked at the photos of Luna as a baby with tears in his eyes. He had missed the chance to be a real father to his daughter. This hurt much more than losing his money. After some time, he tried to reach out to Isabella. It was time to knock on the old door again. "Isabella, please talk to me. I made a huge mistake." Isabella replied calmly, "Tyler, there's no going back. I've built a new life. I'm happy with Luna. But I love you. Samantha left me." "Tyler, you made your choices. I'm not angry. We're just on different paths now. What matters to me is my daughter's safety and happiness." Tyler cried helplessly. "Isabella, please. Give me another chance." "I'm sorry, Tyler. That door is closed." Isabella hung up the phone. She wasn't angry with Tyler. There was only indifference. She would never make peace with him. Because betrayal could never be forgiven. And you, would you forgive someone who betrayed you? Tyler now lived alone in a miserable apartment. He had lost his job because he had been working with Samantha's references. His friends had also distanced themselves from him. He looked for work every day, but his past followed him. Months later, he saw Isabella from afar. She looked very happy playing with Luna in the park. Isabella had become a beautiful, confident, successful woman. Luna was growing up healthy and cheerful. Tyler felt his heart burn as he watched this scene. He had lost his most precious treasure with his own hands. That evening, Angelina Jolie came to visit Isabella. "How's everything going?" Angelina asked. "Everything's fine. We had a great time at the park with Luna today. By the way, Ms. Jolie, I still don't know how to thank you. If it weren't for you, you were already strong, Isabella. I just helped you realize it." Luna ran to Angelina Jolie. "Aunt Angelina, look what I drew." Isabella's eyes sparkled. Luna was growing up confidently. Another year had passed. Isabella had graduated and opened her own clinic as a child therapist. Angelina Jolie had organized a special celebration for the grand opening. As Isabella looked at the sign for her clinic, she thought, sometimes life puts you through the toughest tests, but those tests are actually the beginning of your greatest gift. "Dr. Isabella Moreno," she said, looking at the sign. "It looks beautiful." Then Isabella looked at her engagement ring. It no longer reminded her of Tyler, but of her own strength. Luna ran to her mother. "Mom, will you help the patients?" "Yes, sweetie, just like Aunt Angelina helped us." True strength is getting back up when you fall. Isabella had achieved that. Her story began with poverty and selling rings at Hayes Jewelry, and it led her all the way to graduating from university and opening her own clinic. Don't forget, life sometimes puts you to the test, But that test is actually the preparation for the most beautiful gift you will ever receive.